Hey everybody, Ro here with a cool new video idea, how to record quality guitar cheap. After getting a question a lot that, how do you start recording music without spending too much money? Or, for new bands, new recording people new to their instrument, how do you record a, rock or metal song without spending any money? I wanted to put to the test if I could go with my absolute cheapest guitar, almost entirely all free software, and just give a really quick song a go, and then compare it to my usual setup, which costs a little bit more. Take a listen and tell me what you guys think. After hearing the distance, I have to say that the free version sounds pretty great considering it's almost entirely free. Of course, Reaper is an evaluation version for 60 days or 2 months, but it's a $60 software. Still very, very cheap compared to every other competitor I've used, and one of my favorite DAWs for anyone to get started on. Obviously, there's a big difference between some of the sample sounds, but I actually think that the freeware sounds pretty great, and arguably better than some of the stuff I've done with paid software like PodFarm. The point of this video is a few things. One being, nobody should say I can't record if they have the bare necessities and the motivation to make music. Point two is, I think mixing and knowing your instrument are more important than how fancy your equipment is or the quality. There are about 3 necessities before you can start recording that must be in place. The first one is, of course, you need to have a good instrument. The next thing you want is an interface. I explain all of this stuff in my recording guide that I've linked in the description, but briefly, an interface is what gets your instruments into your computer. It's a little box, and you can get them for maybe $50 to $80 used, and around $80 to $150 or even more brand new. For someone starting out recording just themselves, a Focusrite Scarlett Solo or 2i2 is fantastic. It's not too expensive and it can take a beating. The last thing, of course, you'll need is a computer that can handle all this stuff. So, if we start counting up money, this is probably the most expensive part. My computer is around 7 years old, built by myself, so it wasn't as expensive as it could have been, but in 2016, I would estimate maybe $500 to $600 US as a minimum for a new computer that could handle the freeware project that I made here. For those of you guys who use Kako's Reaper and download all of the freeware software I linked in the description, you can basically open up a project template that I've created with everything mixed just before I put it in this video. So you can try putting in maybe some of your paid software, record your own song, play with the drum kit that I created with layers and layers of different samples to get it more realistic. And you can basically start making music for what I would assume to be close to free. Let me know if you try out the template, if you have a favorite interface, maybe your first guitar and how cheap it was. What are the corners that you kind of save? And what are the things that you find worth investing? Leave it in the comments. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Thanks everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed this little test. Maybe you'll whip out that old guitar that's been collecting dust for a while, and I hope you guys all have some fun making music.